Welcome back to Walk-Ins. Welcome. We are changing things up as the last episode of the year. And how we're changing it. Well, I'm on, Michael, but Nick is not on today. It's Hannah.
Hi.
And we got Hannah on the call. Hannah, turn your mic a little towards you.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There we go. I'm so behind the scenes.
As you can tell, she's more behind the scenes, so she gets to edit this video later in the recording. But no, I wanted to bring Hannah on. We've mentioned her quite a bit here and there throughout episodes, and how we joke like it's her show. We're just here to dance along. But I wanted to kind of like say, let's learn a little bit more about Hannah. So just Hannah, I'm going to go through some basic questions. This is very on the fly, by the way. So if you're just needing something entertaining to listen to for the next 10 to 15 minutes, this is your episode. If you're like, I really want urgent care stuff, we got some really cool episodes behind us you can go listen to. I know Hannah will be posting a front desk repeat episode.
Yes, which will actually be our last episode of the year.
Okay, yeah. So this is the last.
Second to last.
This is our last brand new recorded episode. Mm-hmm. So, all right, Hannah, well, tell us a little bit about you in terms of how long you've been here, what's some of your favorite things, what makes you jive, all the things. Let's kind of go from there.
I am the marketing director at Patient Care Marketing Pros and Nick the Marketer. I've been here for, I think it'll be 7 years in May.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
You and I both came on within like two months of each other.
You were here in March. I was here in May. So it'll be 7 years in May. Things I like personal things.
Yeah.
I started doing Pilates this year, which I feel like I talked to you all about. That's really fun and exciting.
Yep.
I have a cat. Her name is Muse. I love her. I like reading. I reached my reading goal this year.
What was your goal?
My goal was 40 books.
Hey.
I think I've done 42 or 43.
Nice.
And the year's not over yet.
What's your favorite book this year?
Oh, this year? I have to cut this.
No, you don't.
That's me thinking of what I'm reading.
Hello, it's Hannah from the future. I realized after we recorded this episode that my favorite book of 2025 is not the one I mentioned that you're about to hear about, which I still love that book, but my favorite book by far from this year was Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. It's a part of the Hunger Games universe, if you've ever read or watched those, like movies and books. I loved it. It was devastating in all the ways I hoped it would be. It was just a phenomenal book, and so I needed to make a correction because I was not about to look like a fool in front of the Walk-Ins Welcome listeners. So that's my correction. Sunrise on the Reaping, by far, favorite book of 2025. Okay, back to the episode. Bye.
I read a memoir or autobiography in January by this girl that was on One Tree Hill, which was like a really popular show in the earlier 2000s. It's about this cult that she was in. It's called Dinner for Vampires. It is so good. That's probably like the one that stands out the most to me.
Kind of sad that your January book was the best one of the whole year.
There's probably another one. I just am struggling right now to remember what else I read, but I've talked about that one more recently, and so I think that's why it's on the top of my mind.
Gotcha.
I'll insert in the show notes what my actual favorite book is once I go back and look at my Goodreads.
Nice. All right, so I'm going to ask a more random question. I'm actually kind of curious on the answer. What's something that Nick and I do in this podcast that you wish we quit doing? This is live, by the way.
Honestly,
unscripted.
Honestly, I don't do a ton of editing, which is why I made the joke earlier
That's
about
a prop to ourselves.
me pausing for so long. Y'all don't really
we keep going.
Do that. I very much don't really have to do a ton of editing unless you're like, hey, I need to cut this second. But for the most part, editing is very simple. It's not podcast, but just video recording in general.
Oh.
You specifically.
Oh, no.
You say thank you and in the recording at the exact same time. So the phone is moving, the camera is moving. And so I don't have a pause there. But I've told you that before.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a millennial, and so my idea of how things stop and record and whatever is off because I was in the generation of where we had recording of things, but everything was a delay, and then I needed to get off the. Anyway, so I get it.
Get off the call really
and
fast,
then I'm trying to overcompensate when you say, "Hey, you don't have to pause for a second; you can just go."
Yeah.
And now I've gone too far on the other side. Anyway,
well,
I get it.
I'd rather you do that, pause, because then I can cut that. But it's also weird to cut it when you are ending it at the same time you're putting your phone down, because it goes and you can't see this if you're not watching the video.
Exactly.
But you understand what I'm saying.
Well, and we had that same conversation with all of our guests where we say, hey, when we say, all right, guys, see you on the next one, and we stopped a recording, we tell them, don't get off.
Don't leave.
Don't leave. One, because Riverside takes a minute to keep uploading. And then two, we won't chat with you for a second.
Yeah. No, y'all are pretty easy to, I want to say to manufacture. Y'all are really easy when it comes to like editing and like putting content together.
Well, as you called us, we are your toddlers and tiaras.
Yes, I'm the toddlers and tiaras mom of everything, and y'all are my toddlers.
Yeah.
And I'm just like making sure that everything is good to go. I think that's my LinkedIn header too. Like it says toddlers and tiaras mom of our brand, which is really fun for me.
Yeah.
Really
I mean, and we're just along for the ride.
Yeah.
We just do what you tell us to. So audience, if there's an episode you thought was dumb, it's probably our fault, but we'll say it's Hannah's fault.
You do write your own episodes, which is very helpful for me.
And plot twists, sometimes you write them about 5 minutes before we record them.
That's fine. No one has to know.
No, but as long as you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So one of the other things I wanted to touch on, though, was your advocacy. So this is something that we've kind of talked about on the podcast here. Now, not a whole lot. I know Kristen had been on as well, and then so she had to talk about some of it. But what's super fascinating to me, you've created a situation where we're probably the only marketing company / podcast / webinar people that has an advocacy push in the urgent care space. To my knowledge, I think we're the only ones. It's all because of you.
I think it's very slow, but yes, it is something that I'm really trying to do, especially in 2026, is just getting involved more in the advocacy side, because that's something I'm really passionate about, even outside of work. So I thought it would be fun to like bring it into.
Is there anything you can talk about in details right now, or do you have to keep it quiet?
I'm kind of, well, there's not a lot of things happening right now.
Yeah.
I would love to help get Urgent Care Appreciation Day established in Alabama.
Yes.
Not many states have them. I'm in contact with somebody who's done a lot of the effort on getting that done. And so I really want to like help her and help push that over the edge. And then I'm looking into legislation. Maybe that was like passed in, or not passed in Alabama, but like proposed in Alabama that kind of fell through. And I would just really love to like talk to representatives more about the importance of urgent care, just so that they know. Because urgent care obviously means a lot to a lot of people. Yeah. And I just think it's not as widely understood. And so I'm like, okay, how do we get in these rooms? How do we have these conversations? Just to educate more people and let them know what urgent care is and how it can affect their communities and all that stuff. But it is really fun. It's really exciting. My approach this year has really been like Elle Wood's approach of
100%.
Like it's hard.
And you're already getting your nails done now. So.
I am getting my nails done. I'm officially Elle Woods. But I'm very much in the mindset of like, well, how hard can it be? Like I can figure out anything. And if I can't figure it out, surely somebody else knows the answer. So it's really just a lot of asking questions and not being
pursuing it, right?
Yeah, not
just
being nervous to ask questions, not being nervous to kind of look silly. Because like maybe I did ask the wrong person, or maybe I asked the wrong question or whatever. And it's just like figuring it out as you go. So
that's my encouragement. So if you live in Alabama, have any association at all with the urgent care space, help us help you.
I'd love to get more urgent cares on board.
Get more urgent cares on board. And we're going to focus on Alabama first because that's where we're from. We'll help on national stuff where it makes sense to help, which we usually hook up with UCA and kind of tie it together. But if you're in Alabama and you know somebody in the Senate, state Senate or whatever that could,
or state house
that could help push something along for us, reach out. Hello at patient-care-marketpros.com. We'll go straight to Hannah.
Yeah. I think too, if there's like any issues that are pressing for urgent cares that like maybe legislation could be passed about, I think that would be really good to know too. Just because like as an urgent care provider, you know the ins and outs, and I need to learn that information from you so I know what to have these conversations around. But it's again, like if we can get something, meet with legislators, have site visits, like all that stuff, like start having those conversations, even if nothing happens in 2026, like at least establishing those relationships locally is going to be super important.
Yeah. Absolutely, and we thank you for that, Hannah. And as a transparency, like we fully support Hannah on this. This is something where if it makes sense for patient care marketing pros to throw dollars at, we will. Just got to figure out when that needs to happen. Yeah. But awesome. So just to kind of tie up the episode, it's 2025 has been a wild year. We've talked about how the urgent care space has accepted us finally. We've been knocking on this door for years now, podcast wise, 4 years plus. And this year, I felt like the urgent care has industry has just responded to us. Do you feel in the same?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is so cool to like go to events and people know who we are.
Yeah.
And just have that connection in person, because a lot of what I do is through the internet.
Absolutely.
So it's really nice to like be in like the Saruka, the Naruka, the UCA, all the UCAs, like going to the Experity event, like all that stuff is just really nice to like have people like make the connection that
absolutely
this is who we are. And I'm like, okay, great. Like the hard work that we're putting in is paying off.
Yeah, because it's been years in the making.
Yes.
So let me ask, so for 2025, what was, to your eyes, well, two sides. What was your favorite thing you did this year related to work, and what was probably the most impactful thing?
I think they might both be the same answer.
Okay. All right.
I got to go to the Experity Urgent Care Connect by myself.
Yes.
In March of this past year.
Yes.
And that was so fun. One, to go on a trip by myself.
And I was supposed to go.
You were supposed to go.
And then life happened and I couldn't go. And so it was the very last minute for you to go.
Yeah, it really was fun just to like go and like actually be a part of talks. So we didn't have a booth. We weren't speaking. That was like
the pressure was off.
Yeah, I was just hanging out, like being friends with people. Like I think I walked up to the CEO and was like, "Hey, I'm Hannah." Like it was just so like nice just to be there and be an attendee. And just get to talk to people and hear what their pain points were. And then I also want to say that was the most impactful, not only for us and like establishing those connections and saying like, hey, we are here just to like learn and support and be however helpful we can be. But then too, I really do think it helped with my confidence personally and like how I approach these things. Again, it goes back to Elle Woods, like how hard can it be? I think that's like where I really like was like, okay, well, I can't be nervous about this. I'm just going to go do it. So yeah, I do think it helped with my confidence, which then helped like us grow more because I was not afraid to reach out to people and be like, hey, I'm Hannah. Like, and again, be strategically annoying is what I like to say. I'm going to bother you until you would tell me no and I'll leave you alone.
That's marketing.
Yeah, I'm just going to be strategically annoying and keep showing up in your inbox and all that stuff. But no, that probably was one of the most fun things that we've done. We also hit 200 episodes this year.
We did.
Which is crazy. That was really cool.
And we've seen our stats go up this year. According to Spotify, we really rocked it. We had our first in-person interview with Ava.
That was really fun.
Which is one of the most popular episodes.
I think we started running our own Facebook ads this year. It's crazy because we've like talked to clinics about running ads for forever.
Well, and so like, and that's the other side too, where this year, so there's two things that happened marketing wise this year that you're fully involved on that we have not done previous years, or we like kind of didn't work out. One is Facebook ads. So we had for years ran Facebook ads on and off, and we thought we were targeting you urgent care people. We just weren't. Like it would, even though it says we weren't. And then Andromeda kicked in, which we actually found out through a coworker who no longer works with us, but he's wonderful. We actually still see him on.
Love you, Philip.
Still see him on Mondays on prayer meeting, by the way. And he's like, hey, I think this is an approach we can take. It's AI driven targeting, basically. And it worked. And then we were ahead of the curve for, probably 6 months before like the phrasing actually came out for it. So that was a big impact. And then the other side is we've been, for once, consistent with our webinars.
Yeah. That's been really fun too.
And the webinars is like, for those who have never attended, you may listen to our podcast, if you want more in-depth information about what's going on in marketing and urgent care, our monthly webinars will do that for you. It's about 60 minutes, give or take. And it's a full deep dive. And like I always say on the ads, you get the replay later. So.
You do get the replay. That's like probably one of my favorite things because it's like not everybody can dedicate.
No, it's hard.
An hour a day to like on a random Thursday to like come to those things. So sitting out the replay is really important to me.
Absolutely.
So I really like doing that. But no, I think this year's been great. I'm really excited. We have some stuff in the works for 2026 that I'm really excited about. Our mastermind, which you have talked about on this podcast before. Yep. I'm about to. So we're currently, when you're listening to this episode, it is still in the join the waitlist period. However, once the new year starts, I'm going to send out emails and stuff to everybody on the wait list to get them actually registered. Yep. And so I'm really excited about that. I've never done anything like that before. So it's a lot of learning and exploring and experimenting for me too. But I think all in all,
definitely expanding your skill set.
I absolutely think so. But I think it's going to be fun because I like that I get to do different stuff instead of just doing the same thing all day, every day. So yeah, our mastermind, we have our last webinar of the year on Thursday. So the day you're listening to this, if you're listening to it the day it comes out.
By the way, the day that we're recording is December 15th.
Yes.
Just to get perspective.
Yes. The webinar is on Thursday, December 18th.
Yes.
So if you would like to come to that, you can sign up for that. Again, if you don't make it to the live one, you'll receive the replay. We're trying to go our YouTube channel, so go subscribe to that.
We've had some boosts there recently.
Yeah, we have as of last week, we had 132 subscribers.
Which I'll be honest, on the world spectrum of YouTube and Spotify,
it's so small.
It's a tiny, tiny little number. But in the world of urgent care, it is not so tiny.
You put 132 people in a room, that's a lot of people.
That would feel really good.
Yeah, that would be really great. That's how I have to look at the numbers sometimes too. I'm like, oh gosh, this didn't perform as well as it should have, or I thought it was going to.
When I have people come on to interview, they ask, because one, we're interviewing them prior to saying, like, is this a good fit? And then the question always comes up in the pre-interview, how many listeners do you have? And I said, well, based on all of our subscribers combined, between 400 and 600.
Which is crazy.
People. And so now we don't know much more beyond that because the platforms won't tell you that, as they shouldn't. They shouldn't know all those things.
Yeah.
But no, it's real because the urgent care space, there's 13,000, 14,000 locations in the country. It's not a big number. Yeah. So it's super cool that maybe like 5 to 10% listen to us.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Hannah, thanks for coming on. This was a very impromptu thing. It was one of those, Hannah literally met this morning and said, hey, we have a gap right now and I'd like to fill it. And then, well, let's talk about you, Hannah, because if you weren't here, this wouldn't be here.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I've made you who you are. I'm just kidding.
There we go. And on that bombshell.
Wait, also, I do have an ask.
Oh, I tried.
At these events, people are always like, oh my gosh, yeah, I see you in my inbox. Please say hi.
Yes.
We don't have to have an in-depth conversation, but sometimes it feels like I'm talking, me personally,
because
because I'm not like camera facing and like I'm not like on the webinar and stuff. It feels like I'm just kind of like talking to people or at people.
And no one's listening.
Yeah, so if I pop up in your inbox and it connects with you or not, just say, hey.
Hey, no lie. By the way, on the email stuff, so our open rates are between like 30 and 40% on average, sometimes more, of maybe close to 1,000 recipients, give or take, maybe 800, 900. That means there's 300 to 500 of you people opening these things, and it's consistent from week to week. So if, like she said, if you find value, just hit reply and says thanks. Just that.
Yeah. And that's not like you have to. It's just nice to like get feedback sometimes. Because I do get feedback at the events and they're like, oh, I love this stuff. And I'm like, great. Could you have told me that like 4 months ago? Because some things like I think flop and they didn't actually. Yeah. But because I'm not getting feedback on them, I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, I think honestly, I think half of our joy of events is getting live feedback from our listeners, because it happens every time now. Now that we've added the banner that shows that Patient Care Marketing Pros is walk-ins welcome. People come. they don't know Patient Care Marketing Pros. They could probably care less, but they love like, I listen to you guys. I send your stuff to my coworkers, or I've compared your notes to people who've been in the industry, and you're spot on. But we only hear that in person. We never get to hear it.
As a words of affirmation person who is so behind the scenes, it's a real struggle for me. Sometimes.
I get it. And we struggle ourselves too, because we don't hear a whole lot. But then we'll have people book into Grace's calendar, and they said
it's really fun. It all connects, and like anytime we get feedback, I'm always so excited. So
absolutely,
please say hello if you ever get a wild hair and want to say hello to me.
Nice. Love it. Hello, patientcaremarketingpros.com. You will be talking directly with Hannah Green, which is awesome. She is the everything behind this, behind the podcast, the webinars, our marketing in general. You wouldn't know who we are without her.
Period.
There you go. And on that, we will catch you guys on the next one. See ya.
Bye.